How do we turn what if I fail into what if it works? So what if I fail into what if it works? Welcome to the Confident Podcast. I am Lisa Tarkington, your guide to mastering confidence and leadership. As a business and life coach, keynote speaker, and the driving force behind Lead, I am here to help you break free from self-doubt, silence the imposter syndrome, and step into your power as the person you're meant to be. If you press play today, it's because you're ready for something bigger. Each week, I'll bring you real, raw conversations and actionable insights that will empower you to redefine your leadership, reclaim your confidence, and transform into the unstoppable force you've always known that you could be. This isn't just another podcast. It's a journey we're on together. So buckle up and let's dive into this transformation. Your next level awaits. Hi, everybody. Welcome back for another episode of the Confident Podcast. I am your host, Lisa Tarkington, and I'm honored to be in the seat every week talking to you about all the things confidence, professional development, personal development, and hearing people's stories. So we are presented by Lead, a nonprofit in the state of Michigan and across the globe, helping people gain confidence, well-being, leadership skills. We work in school districts, and then we help a lot of adults that are looking to support the next generation. So we're very honored that they are the presenting sponsor, and we're also honored that we get to be talking to you guys weekly. So I'm going to be solo today. I'm going to be solo talking about taking us back to our roots, which is confidence. So we've had a lot of amazing opportunities this last how many years we've been a podcast where we've talked about leadership, we've talked about confidence, we've talked a lot about skills, and we've had people come on and share their stories. But we haven't had a podcast recently about just taking us back to what our roots are of habits to help you build your confidence. And I figured we would help you guys with habits and routines. I'll share my story with a few of these things, but also just to really help you grow in these skills. You know, right before I was coming to record, I was talking to someone about confidence and how they were struggling with certain areas of their life and how they were really good at confidence in another area. And what I kept reiterating is that it isn't a fixed trait, that it's a skill that you build over time. You know, we hear people all the time say, well, some people are just born with confidence. And I think that one thing is we might have more confidence in certain areas of our life. We might feel kind of drawn to that area, but a skill just doesn't happen overnight. Everything that I do right now, if you would have met me 10 years ago, I was building that skill. I'm still building that skill. But there's habits that I've added into my life to really help me to take it to the next level. And that's what we're going to be talking about, because for me, it's been key for me, but I've also struggled with a lot of things. I've struggled with, lacking confidence in my life. I had to learn a lot, and I've probably shared this multiple times on the podcast around accounting. Accounting was a really hard spot for me. When I was building my business, I didn't know what a business plan was. I remember even working in the corporate world where my confidence was a little bit low of, do I ask these questions in this meeting? How do I speak up for myself? And as I've grown in my career, I questioned myself a lot. I questioned my confidence. And even things that I'm like, this is my zone of genius. This is what I know. When there are moments in my life where things weren't going perfect, I found myself questioning that. But what I've found is that when I add habits into my life and use those habits, it has become a game changer even when the downward spiral comes. Because guys, it's going to come. It happens to the best of us. But it's having the tools in place to really help you. And I talk a lot about this with my coaching clients. So when you think about a coaching session or you think about, using our platform Lead Within, many people aren't thinking, oh, I'm lacking confidence. Normally people are coming because they want to learn a new skill or they want to grow in their career. But what I have found is that the indicator is usually lack of confidence, maybe lack of worth, self-esteem, all of those types of things. So what you can expect in today's episode is really breaking down the confidence formula. So these are daily habits that are going to make a difference in your life. And I'm excited for it because, again, I use all of these things. I see them with my clients. I see them with the nonprofit Lead that I work with and lead. And I'm just so honored for that. So let's dive into today's episode. So, the first thing we're going to be talking about is the mindset shift. And I've probably talked about this almost every podcast because I eat, breathe, and sleep it, or whatever we want to say around it, because confidence really starts in our head. Wow, confidence is a skill, it's not a fixed trait. Many of us lack confidence within ourselves, and we allow the voices in our brains to kind of take over. So kind of picture like a gremlin kind of sitting on your shoulder, and we allow that voice to overtake all of the skills that we've built up with, all the skills that we've built over time, because we haven't figured out how to make mindset shifts yet. So confidence isn't just about being fearless. It's about taking action despite of fear. So there are many times when I've been on my confidence journey with a certain skill or a certain thing that I want to do where I was still fearful, but I didn't let that stop me. I had to take action as well through all of that. So let's take you back a moment to a time in our lives where many of us can relate to. Most people have learned how to ride a bike. Most people have learned that moment where you are getting those training wheels off and you're scared, you're nervous. Oh, can I just ride off of two wheels? And what I have found is that once we hit one thing where we have more confidence in our skill of something, we move to the next thing. And as we're growing onto bigger bikes. We're trying different things. And so our confidence grows there. We're still scared a little bit. I remember the day my training wheels were taken off, being a little nervous, but being able to move forward from that and not give up, because heck, if I would have given up, I'd still be using training wheels to this day. And so it's just taking those little steps every day. Think about the first time that you applied for a job and had an interview. You didn't have it all perfect at that time, but it was, again, your first step to get to your next job, And this also means with meeting people. One of the things with my job is that I have to network all the time. And I've also moved a lot of different places. And when you're doing that, your confidence has to shine a little bit in your skill set to talk to people. And so the more that you can get reps in with all of these different things, the more that you're going to be better at something. But it starts with kind of that shift. Another shift that has to come is the I belong here mindset. So many times we think, oh my gosh, that would be a great opportunity. Well, I don't belong. Oh, that would be awesome. Yeah, I'm never going to be worthy of that. Or we sit at a table and being like, why am I here? I'm not as good as everybody else. And so these are all mindset shifts that we have to make in our brains. And sometimes it starts with self-talk. It starts with affirmations, and all of this to help you believe in yourself. So if you believe that you shouldn't be at a table, how are you going to have everybody else believe that as well? If you are saying, oh my gosh, that would be a great opportunity, but you don't believe in yourself, people are going to stop giving you opportunities. So the mindset shift is really, really key. Another area to help you with this is think about the 3 C's of confidence. Now, when I teach this, I think of this as communication, but I figured, you know what, today it kind of resonates really well with confidence. So it's about thinking about clarity. Who are you and what do you want? So the more that you can have that mindset around who am I and what do I want, getting clarity on that. Being consistent, having daily actions that help you build self-trust, believing in yourself and having that trust. And the last one is compassion, speaking to yourself with kindness, like we do to others. So these 3 things, clarity, consistency, and compassion, are very key. And I will tell you, as someone who's built her life on growth and confidence and teaching other people confidence, clarity is one of the hardest things for people to figure out. If you would have asked me that in my 20s versus who I am now, it's been very different. I think I had to experiment of well, what do I want to be known for? Who do I want to be? I also had to think about the actions that I want to take on a daily basis. And then I had to learn how to have compassion for myself. And clarity came from reflection. So what people don't do enough on is sit with things. And so sitting with something is very, very key to get clarity. Sometimes I have to map it out. We just had a podcast about a month ago on instead of just talking about it, taking action. And so what I've had to do is, okay, you reflect, but then you go and figure out who you want to be. You notice those things. You take small actions throughout your day, and then you have compassion for yourself. So that is very, very key. All of those things are very important when it comes to the mindset shift. So when we're thinking about those things, I'm going to start to dive into some habits for all of us. And these are habits, I think I'm going to say like these are you could be morning confidence kickstarts, or honestly, just confidence kickstarts. I'm not saying that you have to do them every morning, but as long as they're throughout your day. And so here's going to be 4 different habits to really help you kickstart your confidence when it comes to how your day starts, how your day looks, and it's going to impact your confidence levels. So the first one, habit 1. So there's going to be 9 habits I'm going to show you guys today because I'm very, very key on helping people have habits that they can stick to, write down, and help them into their lives. I'm a person that when I have a list, it helps me kind of focus versus think that I have to do it all. And so the first habit is move your body. So physical activity reduces stress and increases self-trust. Guys, we know this. We know that moving our body is important. I shouldn't have to say it, but I think that even I need the reminder because I think about anytime I go for a walk, I go for a run, I go to the gym, I do physical activity in any way, I already see my stress levels go down. And I see like this like light kind of like increase in me, this energy increase. And sometimes it's like, I can do anything. And so one of the habits that I would suggest for anybody that's lacking confidence is move your body. I know that it might not seem like it correlates, but you have to get your mindset in a good place to grow in your confidence. And that one of those is getting healthy, thinking about being healthy. The next habit is dress with confidence. There's a lot of psychology behind it when we with how we present ourselves. So when I am coaching or when I'm doing a keynote or when I'm doing professional development or speaking to a group, I am wearing what makes me feel confident. And if you've ever seen photos of me online, it's usually a colored blazer. It's usually jeans or black pants, or it's a dress with a blazer. And I'm always in some type of heel. That for me makes me feel very confident. Now, I don't wear things that make me uncomfortable. If I'm on stage doing what I'm meant to do, I'm really making sure that I'm dressing because I want to be confident in myself and feel good. When you feel uncomfortable, your confidence doesn't shine. So like think about yourself like kind of like shoulders down, kind of like hiding. But when you're dressed and you're proud of what you're wearing, you kind of like shine forward a little bit more. And I've noticed that myself. Maybe you've noticed it after you get a haircut and your hair is looking amazing. Maybe you notice it when you get a new outfit and you're ready to show it off. Sure, that can come off as like, okay, I see myself more. But when you dress to impress yourself, there's a lot of psychology behind it because it helps us see like, I want to be better at this. This is a skill I want to grow into, but I want to dress the part right now. You know, there are people that, well, I'm going to relate to this, that I love my leggings. I love my tennis shoes. I like a nice shirt. This one's from Nike. Like I love all of those types of things, and that makes me feel confident in certain types of my life. But if every day I was wearing sweatpants and a baggy shirt, I probably wouldn't feel confident. That just doesn't work for me because I want to feel confident in what I'm presenting outward to people. And again, that is a me thing. And so when you think about, well, I want to play the part, I want to be more confident in something, what are you wearing that actually makes you feel good? Because then that energy kind of morphs into that. So that's habit 2. So habit 3 is set a small win for the day. So I have priority lists. We've talked about these. I've talked about time management. I've talked about all of those things. But what I have found, and one of the things that I have taught a lot on, is intention setting. So what is your intention for the day? What is one small win that you might want to have to help you gain your confidence? Is that talking to someone new? Is that building out a project plan? Is that trying a new skill? Is that signing up for a new thing? What is the intention to really help you grow in that area that you want to grow in confidence? Now, I shared years prior that I wasn't confident when it came to accounting. And I wouldn't say I'm perfect at it, but man, my knowledge is like way better. And I think that came from repetitions, from setting my intention of, okay, I'm going to learn this today. I'm going to get better at this today. And just being intentional with my time. I've also seen that with my keynotes and my coaching, being very intentional because it builds. And then every day you have one small goal, one small win. Our brains love celebration. So it's celebrating that and taking it to the next level and helping you grow into that confidence. So habit 3 is set a small win for the day. What is that win for you? Taking care of your health isn't always easy, but it should at least be simple. For me, the journey to feeling my best has always been about small, sustainable habits. That's why for the last 4 years, I've made AG1 part of my daily routine. Actually, it's part of my whole household's routine every morning. It's just 1 scoop mixed with cold water every morning, no exceptions. It's my go-to for a simple yet powerful way to support my health and feel energized for the day ahead. With AG1, I'm covering my daily dose of essential vitamins, minerals, and pre and probiotics, and much, much more. And it's all in one step. So I have noticed for myself, I have much better improved digestion, I'm in a healthier mood, and I have more energy. And let's be honest, when I feel my best, I can give my best to my friends and my family and work. And that's why AG1 is not just a product I use, but it's part of my commitment to self-love and taking care of myself. What I love most about it is how easy it is to stay consistent. If I'm at home, I mix a scoop of AG1 into my water first thing in the morning, especially before coffee. And if I'm on the go, I have my individual travel packs ensured I never miss a day. It's just a small benefit that adds up to big benefits, and that's why I just love AG1. So with this new year, try AG1 for yourself. It's the perfect time to start a new healthy habit. As a special offer, AG1 is giving new subscribers a free $76 gift when you sign up. That includes a welcome kit, a year's supply of vitamin D3 and K2, and 5 free travel packs in your first box. So visit drinkag1.com/theconfident to grab yours today. That's drinkag1.com/theconfident. Let's start this year off a little bit healthier. Let's face it, personal growth can feel overwhelming. With so much advice out there, how do you even know where to start? That's exactly why we created Lead Within. It's a one-stop platform designed to help you build confidence, tackle self-doubt, and grow in ways that feels real and achievable. Whether you're navigating challenges in your career, working on resilience in your personal life, or looking for tools to support your family's growth, Lead Within is here for you. From actionable resources to guided content, it's packed with strategies that make progress simple, one step at a time. And because life doesn't wait, we're constantly adding fresh tools to meet you where you are. For a limited time, you can join for just $5. Use the code podcast50 at leadwithin.leadconfidently.org to get 50% off your first month. So why wait? Your next step toward confidence and growth is just a click away. Visit leadwithin.leadconfidently.org to get started today. Number 4. This is where the action starts to happen. More and more, you're going to see these in these habits, is practice a skill. So it's not just, oh, I want to try this, or oh, I want to try that, or oh, I wish I was better at this. It's practicing. So I'll give you guys an example. So I'm a keynote speaker, as you know, and if I never practiced my keynotes, the audience would feel that. I could see my confidence going down too by that because I was not building on a skill. So confidence is all about like repetitions in a skill, getting better at it. If I wanted to become a videographer or, edit something or build a website or maybe get a job in a certain field in the future, if I know what are those skills that are needed there, it's just building off of those. And I'll even break it down even more. A skill can be, I want to get better at my leadership, project management skills, time management. I want to get more confident in those areas. Maybe it's accounting. So what can I do? What can I practice today? So what is my small win is habit 3, but then what is a skill that I'm actually going to do? And some people that do it super, super well is Honestly, so many people on TikTok. Let's just be honest. They have so many. Kylie Perkins is one that seems to be very much talked about on TikTok right now. Mel Robbins has some amazing ones. Dan Martell, Buy Back Your Time. All of these individuals have so many habits that they have taught people and do themselves to help them get to the next level. I mean, Tony Robbins, like all of these individuals, they're not just there shining stars. They did the work. They built on their confidence and they put habits into their lives every day to make things better. So those are 4 habits when it comes to kind of like kickstarting your confidence routine. So now we need to keep talking about how we are going to build these into our lives. So how do we build confidence into our everyday and continue to practice these things? So like I said before, I am all about action. So confidence grows when we act, even sometimes before we're like fully ready. So I always think about it from like an 80-20 perspective. So 80% of the way ready. You'll figure out the rest as you go. And I think that that's helped me a lot over my whole life. Now I'm a recovering perfectionist. So I used to think everything had to be perfect. And then I always change things anyway. So what I've found is like, this is good enough. I'm going to learn as I go. And that's how confidence is built, learning off the skill. Think about riding your bike. The first time that you took those training wheels off, it wasn't perfect, but it was over time once you started to do things. Maybe when your parents were like, okay, let's try without the training wheels, you were like, I'm not ready. But maybe you did it anyways, and then you were able to self-trust and have that trust in yourself to move to the next bike. So use that analogy in anything in your life. You've probably also done these things already in your life. So habit 5 is speak up once a day. Yes, speak up once a day. That's what I want you to do. Whether that's a meeting, in a conversation, a social setting, or challenging yourself to contribute to whatever you're talking about. One of the things that I have found is that when people are struggling with confidence, they kind of hide themselves. I've already shared that a little bit. But when you can start to vocalize and say like, yeah, I can help with that, or have we thought of this, or what about this? It makes a big difference because then you start to believe in yourself, or someone might look at you and be like, that's a really good point. Thank you for bringing that up. But had you kept quiet, you would have just kept thinking it in your head or been like, oh, I should have said this. Oh, I should have said that. And I'm not saying be so loud and obnoxious about it. It's just contributing to a conversation. So how are you going to speak up once a day to contribute? We all have skills. We all have talents. And it's important to speak up about that because people won't know what you have unless you speak up. And so when you can get into the daily habit of those things, it makes a big difference. So maybe that's at work, maybe that's at home, maybe that's at a social setting, but it's really just challenging yourself to speak up once a day. So that's habit 5. Habit 6 is embracing micro bravery. Ooh, I love to be brave. I love when people are brave. I actually find it very encouraging. I follow a lot of people that I aspire to be like, and I just think, oh my gosh, they're so brave. But then I like hear their stories, and it was because they kept taking small, encouraging steps. They kept thinking about, okay, what's my next step? Like no one that I follow has it all figured out. No one that I aspire to be has it figured all out. But I think the coolest part is from them to go from A to Z, it was small. They had to take bravery moments. It was small steps every day of courage and bravery. Maybe they didn't have a great experience, or maybe when they were learning a skill, they didn't have it all figured out, right? Like I've been there, but they didn't give up on themselves. It's about asking for what you want, introducing yourself to someone new, setting new boundaries. That means also being brave in really going after what you want, especially when it comes to confidence. If you want to get more confident in something, like learning something new, getting out of your comfort zone. I'm all about that, getting out of your comfort zone. So that's number 6. We're almost there, guys. Number 6. So habit number 7 is the power of being present. or the power of presence. That's what I'm going to say. The power of presence. And confidence, whenever I ask someone, give me an example of someone who's confident. And they're like, their shoulders are back. They seem happy. They seem to have it all together. And that's what people think confidence is. But there's an intriguing mindset there. So when you're growing in a skill or a talent, or you're trying to grow in something, the more that you can amplify with your body, with your language, that you're proud of your progress, that you're proud of where you are, people are going to feel that. So how is your posture? How are you talking about things? If we go back to, making our voices be heard, thinking about what's our tone and what's our energy. How's the way that we talk about things? How's the way that we talk about ourselves? Perception is really important. And I know a lot of people think all the time, well, I just want people to like me for who I am. Absolutely. I want that too. I want people to like me for who I am. But I also have to put myself out there to have a powerful presence, especially if I want to be taken seriously about a skill or something that I'm trying to grow in. And so that's something to think about too, is like, how are you showing up in the area that you want to be more confident in? Are you still hiding? Are your shoulders back a little bit? Are your hands crossed a little bit? Like, what does that look like for you? And so when you're thinking about this habit, thinking about how does my presence show up when I'm really trying to work on my confidence in a specific area? So it's all about taking small, actionable steps for yourself. And so now that we've talked about mindset, we've talked about all of these, I'm up to number 7 right now with the habits. There's 2 more. Is now we have to talk about overcoming self-doubt and reframing failure. Because it's going to come up on your journey. It has for me multiple times. I'm very honest about that, because I think what we do is that we are just habits, or humans that have habits that we overthink. We have this comparison mindset. And sometimes we have to focus back on ourselves versus comparing ourselves to everybody else. And so habit number 8 is reframe self-doubt. So we've talked a lot about mindset in the beginning, but this is where the reframe kind of comes in. So how do we turn what if I fail into what if it works? So what if I fail into what if it works? Whew. For me, there are many moments where I thought, I don't want to do this because if I fail, this is going to be the repercussion. But I had to change my mindset a lot, especially when it came to my skills, my values, my talents, anything around confidence, is, well, what if this works? And when I talk about, well, what if it fails, my energy goes low. I get all worried, all these self-doubts, all these negative thoughts come into play. But when I talk about, well, what if it works? I light up. I'm like, well, this could happen. And my energy just gets higher. And you need that when it comes to growing in your confidence, because that's going to keep you going day to day when you're trying to figure out what's next and taking these steps into your life. So reframing self-doubt is going to be a habit that you're going to have to do every day. There are moments where I still get off stage and I'm like, did I do well? Did I make everybody happy? And then I have to go internally of think about, did I put the work in? Did I spend those hours in my weekend building this? I put a lot of work into it to be confident when I go on stage to make people happy. And so that's just kind of an example for you. And then number 9, the last one, is debrief your day, not dwell. This one's probably the hardest one for people because we kind of get into these downward spirals sometimes when things don't go well. So reflect on your wins and lessons instead of beating yourself up. So if every day I ended my day sharing all the things that I did wrong, all the things that beat me up, I honestly wouldn't really feel excited or energized for the next day. Now, we all have to vent. I'm never going to take that away from anybody. But one of the things that me and my husband do a lot is we debrief on our day. So we're long distance a lot of the times, or even when we're together, we'll go for a walk and just talk about it. We debrief about things. We talk about, okay, this is what I accomplished. This is what frustrated me, but this is what I learned from this. And when I start to dwell, he's my mindset shift to help me get back to it. I'm working on doing that even more and more myself, especially because I know how important that is. And I give myself a 24-hour rule there, but I'm trying to work on just even giving myself, 2 hours. And the other thing I do is every Friday, I have an accountability group in a group text, and we all voice text each other and talk about and debrief for our week. Like, what were our wins? What were our actions that we took? And it's helped my confidence a lot in all these areas, because instead of dwelling on all the things that I wish I could have changed, I debrief on my day a little bit differently. Well, what went well? What were my lessons? What are the things that I want to grow in? So again, I have days where my confidence is a little bit low, and so I can talk through it with my husband or friends or mentors and say, yeah, it didn't go as planned, but like, here's the things that I would change. Great. That's my action for the next day. That's my action for the next time. So those are going to be really important. So it's really important to think about how, when we're trying to build our confidence, it's okay to fail forward, right? It's okay to take steps. It won't always be perfect. For me, it's been learning by doing. I remember the first time I stepped on a stage. It was okay. But now when I step on stage, it's completely different. And that's because I took repetitions, I took skill, I took time. I really took it to the next level. I think about the first time I raised my hand in a meeting and how my confidence grew in that skill and my expertise. And then I remember there were many times where I said yes. I said yes to everything because I didn't know where I wanted to grow my confidence. I just wanted to try all these different things. And then I learned to set boundaries, and my confidence grew. And so we all have stories of where we've grown in our confidence, but where we want to go. And so when you're thinking about your own growth, that's what I want you to think about, is what have you done well already? How do you learn from those things? And then how do you grow in a new area? And then what are the habits that you put into place? So I'm going to recap for all of you guys to kind of close out today. What were the 9 habits, not 5, 9 habits that we talked about? So the first one is move your body. So habit number 1 is move your body. Habit number 2 is dress with confidence. Habit 3, set a small win for the day. Habit 4, practice a skill to grow in that confidence. Habit 5 is speak up once a day. Habit 6 is embrace micro bravery. Habit 7 is the power of being present and being power in your presence. Habit 8 is reframe self-doubt. And your last one, habit 9, debrief the day, not dwell on it. Now, these are habits. There's not some perfect roadmap. There is no blueprint today, which I love giving people as many things as possible. But today I just wanted to talk about habits to really help you with your confidence. And so my challenge for all of you guys is to just pick one to add into your life within the next 2 weeks, and then build. Then start adding new habits in every day. Because I know for me, my confidence just didn't happen overnight. I'm still working on it every day. It's much better than it used to be, but it's because of the habits that I put into my life to really help me. So confidence grows in small wins, daily decisions. So I ask you to keep showing up for yourself, because I see so many individuals who make changes into their lives because they are showing up for themselves. And if you need additional support, I'm here. My team's here for you. We have an amazing Lead Within platform that we love to support people on. We have workshops, we have coaching. I would love to support you on your journey. So make sure to subscribe to our channel, continue to follow the Confident Podcast, and know that I am always here to support you. So as I say at every podcast, continue to spread love and kindness to everybody that you meet, and have a great day. Thank you for joining me on this episode of the Confident Podcast. If today's episode resonated with you, head over to leadconfidently.org for today's show notes along with discounts to our services. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, leave a review, and follow us on Instagram and YouTube at The Confident Podcast. Your feedback means the world to me, and it helps more people discover the show. And hey, if you're feeling inspired to dive deeper, let's connect. You can find me on Instagram at Lisa Tarkington Official. Drop me a message and let's explore how I can support your journey to confidence and leadership. Remember, you have the power to choose confidence every single day. Keep showing up, keep striving, and keep believing in your potential. I'm cheering you on, and I'll see you next time.